Tell me first, how did you get into this industry? At what age did you start thinking about, okay, maybe I should do this for a living, I like doing this, so maybe I should just continue with this as my profession?
For me in particular, a lot of people get into it either through school nowadays. Back when I was doing it, there wasn't really school for it. I never made a goal to get into this industry, personally. My goal was always theoretical music composition. So I did a music recording degree, and I was always a 3D hobbyist in college. And through the LA music industry, which I went to after college, I kind of fell into more and more graphics work from my hobby until I was working in movies as well as teaching 3D professionally. And I still love doing it, never any regrets, and it's still my primary career. But my passion is actually teaching and music composition.
Okay, but so from the point of that aspect, teaching is something, what would you say to kids that are now getting into this industry? There are a lot of schools, a lot of things that you can learn online or taking some courses. So do you think that it's more important to have this like artistic skill, artistic point of view and talent? Or is it something that you can cover up with a lot of work, studying, and like the most important thing?
Okay, so I think that would be backwards. You can't, the notion of covering up natural talent with work, I'd see it as the complete opposite. There is no such thing as natural talent. And the people that work really hard, they naturally seem talented, they naturally seem to have all these abilities. But I think, that's really the only determining factor. I've never seen someone that was naturally able to do these things. So, as far as getting into like learning and things like that, I get a lot of applications for my school, and normally they're fairly poor applications, and also the training available to the public is very low quality. And so the one thing I recommend for students and prospective students, people trying to get into the industry, is to forget the software, forget the science aspect of it. I think it's really important to study nature, to study the visual imagery all around, and just try to reproduce the most basic things. Because I see lots and lots of just software attempts where you don't really know what it is and all kinds of crazy things. I'm like, what is that? And really, if someone just took a picture and tried to match that picture, that would make them so far ahead of where they would be otherwise by just focusing on the software learning part.
And how does Houdini sum up all those things? Why would you recommend someone to go into Houdini story?
Well, specifically for effects, there's no denying that it's made for effects, or at least that's where it's found as cornerstone as effects. But really, I find that Houdini is one of the oldest 3D packages. 1984 is when it came about. And it's so low level that if you know Houdini, you know all the other packages. If you know one of the other major programs, I mean, Maya, Max come to mind, you know that, you might be a very good artist. But, if you know even Houdini from 10 years ago, you literally know so many things that keep you current so much. With Houdini, you get a firm foundation. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, and even if we are beginners, or even if we are in some upper intermediate level, what are the tricks or tips that you can give us while we're using Houdini? What can we do that maybe we still don't know? What's like the favorite tip that somebody gave you or that you
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever really gave me the tip, but I think the number one thing you can do is not try to learn the most advanced solvers or techniques. Don't pay attention to the newest trends, because those will change in 3 months or 6 months. Try to really learn the basics. So by basics, I mean, what is a particle? What is a polygon? How does rendering really work? Like, how does this motion blur work compared to that motion blur? If the foundation is there, then it will never leave. If the student, and particularly the person trying to learn Houdini, focuses on the wash of awesome features, that's great, but that's for the pros that already know it. really what you need to start doing it is the basics.
And speaking of Serbian artists and Serbian scene and the entire Balkan scene, how do you see it?
I have a really interesting opinion on all of Eastern Europe as far as emerging film and effects work goes. You know, there's two areas of the world that I think will really progress in the next 10 years. One is Eastern Europe, and one is the southern United States. This is just my opinion. The reason that I feel Eastern Europe is going to really progress faster than other areas is because there's a large base of hungry talent, very educated in math, science, and art. I guess appreciates those things, and yeah, just the market, the amount of independent films being made, the amount of small studios that are really picking up all that the amount of work. I've seen it all through Eastern European countries, including Serbia. So yeah, I think it's really going to rise in the independent film, and you know, Hollywood is maxed out. I think that Eastern European film is going to keep growing. Southern United States is a very similar atmosphere. We have a lot of TV series being made, and that's really where the trends are there too. So I like the energy of those two areas personally, of the world.
Okay, and just speaking of Serbia in general, this is not your first time here?
It is my first time here.
It is. So when did you arrive?
Last night at midnight.
So you didn't have time to get a glimpse of the city?
Not yet, but I have all week here. I'm teaching the classes, you know, at Creator Studios.
So can you tell us what are the things that you know about Serbia before arriving? And then we'll check you in a week.
Oh gosh, in all honesty, I studied in Vienna in college about, almost 20 years ago, and back then Serbia was not a place that people should go, and I really like that now it's a very peaceful place, and there's all these new emerging industries coming about everywhere. That's largely what I know about Serbia, other than just Eastern European culture in general.